Hey, yo, what's up, y'all? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Rex Soprano in the building. G.O.D, we are back. And today we are taking a look at Final Fight 1 for the Game Boy Advance. Now, because I pretty much gave y'all the history of Final Fight in a nutshell when I reviewed Final Fight CD, I really don't have a lot left, but there are a couple of important things that you do need to know about Final Fight 1 and why it's so important and so special. What you need to know before even walking towards this game is that this is not a port of the arcade game, but an update and remake of the Super Nintendo version. And there are a couple of context clues within the game and something else which I'll get into at the end that lets you know that this is a remake of the Super Nintendo version. Now, what this has over the Super Nintendo version, of course, 2-player support, and the addition of the industrial area, which was missing from the Super Nintendo version of Final Fight. Also, because this is a remake of the Super Nintendo version, there's no Poison and Roxy, but Billy and Sid take their place just like in the Super Nintendo version. Also, what this game does is that Thrasher is renamed to his actual name, Damn, and Sodom is actually named Sodom and not Katana, which is cool. Also, this game fixes that little error where guys supposedly know Jessica before she even knows that she exists. Oh yeah, in the Japanese version, she's wearing that slinky little bra. I just figured you might want to know that information just in case. Now, I think that's about it. I think that's everything. Let's just go over everything real quick. Told you guys that this is an amalgamation of the arcade version and the Super Nintendo version. This game fixes major translation errors that were around for 12 years before being taken care of. No Poison and Roxy, 2-player support, the addition of the industrial area. That's everything. Now, this game does have some additional elements in it, and we about to hop into that right now. So, give me 1 second just to press the start button. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. Now the mode select, pretty cut and dry. Game start mode, 2-player link mode. It's real cool if you get a chance to ever link up with somebody. It's just you link up and you can only see your status on your screen and they can see theirs. But it runs and it functions perfectly fine. That if it were a 2-player Super Nintendo game, that's probably what it would function like. The option mode and reset game data. We're just gonna get into the options mode real quick. Now, the options you have, I keep mine on very hard. It's the quickest way to unlock characters, and I'll tell you how to get into that in a minute. Now, the difficulty strands from very easy to very hard. Now, you have all the extension options from the Sega CD version, except for 100,000 and every 200,000 after that. So, put mine back on 200,000 every. You have the sound test, the sound effect test, and the button config. Now, the extra options break down like this. That once you start beating up enemies, for every certain amount of enemies you beat up, you get extra stuff. Now, I'll just quickly run it down for you guys. Is that for the first 50 enemies that you beat up, you unlock Alpha Guy as an additional playable character. Now, when you beat up 200 enemies, you unlock the player option, which lets you select your men, because by default you get 5, but you can change it in here and get yourself as many as 9. When you beat up, 500 enemies, you unlock Alpha Cody for play. When you beat up 800 enemies, you unlock the stage select, and you can select any stage 1 through 6. When you beat up 1,300 enemies, you unlock the color change option, and pretty much what it is, it's just changing the color of the sprites. So I'll just show each of them to you. 3, 2, and 1 for Guy. Hagar, 3, 2, 1, What's up with this teal, man? That's kind of... Is that turquoise or was that teal? I don't know, but that's ugly on him, real talk. I shouldn't really be speaking about that, but that's an ugly color. Now, I'll just show you all the colors, the major colors from Street Fighter Alpha. That's the purple joint, Saint. Purple, Saint. Look like a thing of great Kool-Aid, but it's the purple, baby. And that's about it. And once you exit out of arcade, or once you exit out of option mode, it shows you how many enemies you defeated, and usually what it will be is how many enemies you need to beat. How many enemies you beat, and how many enemies when you get to your next secret that you unlock. And we're just going to the game start mode. Now, it's still the same old thing. Guy Cody Haggard, Alpha Guy, and Alpha Cody. Now, tiers stay the same for the original cast, but to break down Alpha Cody and Alpha Guy, it depends. Like, on one end, is that Cody is better than Guy because Cody does more damage and can take a hit, but he moves a little slower. In trade, Guy moves a little faster. He does more damage than any of the normal Final Fight characters, and he can do his he can do his final destruction off of 3 hits before he does a back attack and then goes back to start the infinite. Now, a weird thing is that Street Fighter Alpha 3 was on Game Boy Advance, and to describe what that game is, I like to use the word abomination. You're better off pretending I didn't even mention it, but it just had to be mentioned because their sprites in this game look so detailed and so crisp. It just must have been who handled the conversion of the game versus what the game could have been. You're just better off just playing double upper on PSP and just being happy with that. Now, a couple of other things that you may need to know about the story, which I'll get into right now, is that remember I told you earlier about Cody and Guy Alpha Cody and Alpha Guy have stories of their own, and what it is that they get pulled back from Street Fighter Alpha 3, which in canon takes place after this game, but before Final Fight 2. And what happens is, as they play through the story, they realize they've been pulled back to the year 1989 to save Jessica. Now, Guy is pretty normal. He's just walking around like, oh, I'm the master of Bushi and you must die. Cody just walks around the whole game repeatedly breaking the 4th wall. Now, there's a stage in the game where Cody doesn't break the 4th wall. Cody pulls out a nuclear missile and drops it on the 4th wall. And when I first played with Alpha Cody and I saw that, I was laughing for 10 straight minutes. What he said is just so funny. I was like, oh, really? And I was like, yes. So I'm like, if you ever get a chance to play this game, beat up 500 enemies, unlock Alpha Cody, and play through to the end. Because trust me, when you see once he dropped that nuclear bomb on the 4th wall, it's a very sickening sight, believe me. But enough about that. If I gotta give this game a score, I can give it a 10, and here's why. Is that with the addition of Alpha Cody and Alpha Guy, all the other options that you get, if you go play a version of Final Fight that's not a hack or anything, play Final Fight 1. I'm serious. This game is just that good. Now, what I would love to see in the future, which I hope Capcom got up their sleeves at least, depending on how Double Impact does, I would love to see a remake of this version. For real, I'm serious. I would love to see a remake of this version with Alpha Cody, Alpha Guy, or even a new Final Fight, because I got a feeling we're going to see that in a minute, because, Capcom been on their retro kick for a while. So I got a feeling that we'll see that. I really do. Like I say, I give this game a 10, like real talk. Like, this is something you need to play as a fan of beat 'em up, Final Fight, Capcom, whatever. However you feeling, Final Fight 1 is a game that is a must play. I don't give games 9 to 10 unless I'm going to stand by what I stand by, and I give this game a 10 and I stand by that. That when I finally got a chance to play the game back in 2001, I was like, really? Like this is the crack. And it was like I didn't really figure out until I had to come back and review it that the game was actually a Super Nintendo remake. So I didn't really learn that till about a week ago. So, I'm always learning new things about these games that I never noticed before, and I'm really hoping that I'm helping you guys notice this stuff that y'all not picking up on, because, hey, that's my job. But, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys enjoy the review, man. I will be back later, probably tomorrow, with my Final Fight 2 overview and stuff like that, and we'll take a look at that. Now, Actually, I take that lie back. I won't be taking a look at Final Fight. Well, actually, yeah, I am. Because after I take a look at Final Fight 2, I'll be taking a look at Mighty Final Fight. So, yeah. So, it is Final Fight 2, then Final Fight, and then Final Fight 3. Yeah. So, y'all know what it is. It's your boy, Mr.com. Your boy, Rex Soprano. We get this money, man. Love all my folks. Haters, love whatever. We get down. Holla back.